Welcome back to the TNT Podcast. Today we're going to be going a different direction to convince you of something that is true. I think I'm going to get a high score this time. Today I'm going to be trying to convince my dad of an event that happened to a man named Orion Williamson. I could be mispronouncing that. I couldn't find a pronunciation. So, Orion it is. You know anything about that? It happened in Alabama.
Huh?
You know anything about that? It happened in Alabama.
If it happened in Alabama, it had to be some kind of rednecks doing something they shouldn't.
Not this one.
Okay.
Today we'll be covering the case of a farmer from Alabama named Orion Williamson. The event occurred in Selma, Alabama in 1854 and has been well documented. And I'm just going to tell you the story and then you can interrupt me to ask your questions. The questions that you wouldn't have to ask if you didn't interrupt me. This is sarcasm. Please don't interrupt me this time. Let me get through the story and then we'll give our final thoughts.
You're saying this Williamson feller on the farm in Alabama, what kind of farm was it?
It's just a modest farm. Okay. Let's keep questions for the end.
Okay.
He lived there with his wife and son, owned cows and horses. Just a typical farmer from the antebellum period. This event occurred during the hot summer. The entire family was taking a break from farm work and relaxing under the shade of the front porch.
Well, you hadn't mentioned anything as unexplainable yet.
Orion noticed his farmhand, a man named Andrew, tending to the horses and announced, and I quote, "I forgot to tell Andrew something." He rose from the chair and his wife and son remained on the porch watching him. Orion noticed something on the ground, paused, and picked up a stick and began swishing it back and forth as he walked. The grass in the field was said to be only ankle deep.
He's swishing a stick.
Yeah.
I used to do that when I was a kid, but now you're saying the parents swishing a stick. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, his dad, yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep up. Don't mean to interrupt.
It's really not that complicated right now.
Oh.
At the same time, his neighbor Armour Wren and his son were passing the farm in a buggy. They both waved at Orion and watched as Orion waved back. The next step Orion took shocked each witness. Armour and his son, along with Orion's wife and son, saw the farmer vanish in thin air.
Wait a minute. Wait, I gotta.
Orion.
Orion and Armour.
Yeah.
You sure these people from Alabama? I've lived here all my life. I ain't never heard of no Armour or Orion.
That's because one of them.
Everybody I know had normal names like Donnie, Ozzy, Pistol, and MQ.
Maybe the reason you never heard the name Orion is because he disappeared.
Oh. Well, did Armour disappear too?
Oh, no, he's still here.
Oh.
From one side of the location, Armour and his son climbed from the buggy and raced to the spot. On the other side, racing to the spot, was Orion's wife and son. They met at the spot and saw no trace of him. They searched the area for hours, but darkness arrived to find them still just scratching their heads.
So now they all have lice. Is that what you're insinuating? Stand around scratching their head lice?
You know what I'm insinuating. When the word got out, hundreds of people flocked to the site, and over the next few days, helping search for the farmer, but nothing was found. Everyone was just scratching their... Bloodhounds were brought to the location, but could find no scent of Orion Williamson. Geologists even traveled there to assist the family by looking for an underground cave or perhaps a sinkhole. They dug down into the field until they reached bedrock, and they just gave up on that theory. Orion was never found.
Wait a minute. They had geologists back in 1854. I mean, I'm a Civil War historian, but I've never heard anything about no geologists. When were geologists invented?
Do you want to repeat that question to me?
When were geologists invented?
When were they invented?
Yeah, I mean, were they around 1854?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know when I said we had to keep questions to when I'm done?
Oh, sorry.
Now, strangely, for 2 weeks following the disappearance, Orion's wife and son could hear his voice calling to them for help at the spot where he vanished. A couple of nights they slept near the spot so they could hear him calling for help. His voice became weaker and weaker and weaker until 2 weeks later, it just ceased altogether. There was nothing.
I forgot to ask you a question earlier.
You could wait till...
Because I didn't want to interrupt because you told me not to interrupt. You said you would answer the question
after
sooner or later, but I hadn't you hadn't answered it yet, so I thought I'd go ahead and ask. So
Because you haven't asked it, because I'm... Can we
forgive
get
me
to...
for asking this. I got to know, did the
I need
stick disappear too?
I'm not... I don't think... I guess he was holding it. What does it matter? Like, what does it... No, actually.
I was just wondering if the stick went with it. I'm just curious. I mean, like, did he go poof and the stick's laying on the ground, or did he go poof and the stick's gone too? Because you did. I mean, you brought that swishing stick up like that had some kind of important meaning or something. So I'm just curious if the stick disappeared too.
What does that matter? What is it? What is it? Like... Later that year, the grass around the spot where Orion disappeared died. Ambrose Bierce, a
Wait a minute. Hold up right there. I can't help but interrupt. There's some things that need to be gone over here. Now, you said these geologists dug down to bedrock, right?
Yep.
You think maybe the grass died because they dug it all up? What do these 19th century bozo geologists think's going to happen when you dig the grass up? It's going to die. I've solved this case.
You solved it. You know where he went.
Yeah, the grass died.
That doesn't solve the case.
I'm working on the rest of it.
Ambrose Bierce, a writer and Union Civil War veteran, wrote a story about the event. Bierce was so interested in the story that he interviewed hundreds of people who searched for Orion and all the witnesses of the disappearance. Ironically, in 1913, Bierce himself would disappear. The last line of the last letter he ever wrote from him before he vanished in Mexico was, "As to me, I leave here tomorrow for an unknown destination." He just vanished too, and that was the last
So
thing he
you
wrote.
think he's a magician? Let me think about it. Welcome to Las Vegas, and performing our magic show today is the great Orion Williamson. Whatever his name is. He's going to disappear right before your eyes. Ta-da! Yeah.
The same thing happened in 1880 in Tennessee. A farmer named David Lang vanished across one of his fields. Lang's daughter Sarah related the incident to a woman named... Sorry, I'm getting attacked. Sorry, my bad. Lang's daughter Sarah related the incident to a woman writer named Janita Rose Violini, who told the story in her book. David Lang had also walked across his field with his family, watching as he vanished into thin air.
So 25 years later, somebody else disappears, except this time it's in Tennessee, not Alabama, right? What are you barking at?
You messed me up.
Ain't no squirrels in here.
Broke me, bro.
But you do notice it's all happening in the South, right?
Yeah.
So that tells you something. These people drinking some good moonshine.
Where are they going?
They're drinking moonshine. They're seeing stuff.
So there was never an Orion Williamson. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's one of my theories.
Okay, Janito Violini then wrote of another disappearance in the same manner in 1885. This man was named Isaac Martin, and he disappeared in a farm field in Virginia. A New York newspaper even told about Isaac Martin's disappearance.
So that's in Virginia, another southern state. Rest my case.
Virginia's a southern state.
Yeah. Where do you think Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson's from?
Oh, because they were fighting for the South. Okay. A New York newspaper even told about Isaac Martin's disappearance. Experts at the time blamed the
You already
disappearance...
said that.
Well, you're messing me up.
Oh, sorry.
Experts at the time blamed the disappearance on the universal ether theory. This was first hypothesized by Aristotle in ancient Greece. According to the theory, a magnetic field can either transport a person to a different dimension or possibly disintegrate matter. The theory was that everything in the universe is surrounded by ether, and that is how light and sound travels. It's by this ether. Since then, scientists...
I'm going to make you a factual statement here, and I already know it's going to make you madder than an old wet hen. But here goes anyway. You know Einstein in his book.
Can you stop with Einstein?
That ether is a bunch of claptrap nonsense. Ain't no such thing. I'm just saying.
That's no book. There's no book. Einstein didn't write a book.
But he said Ether was a crap
Yeah,
load
and
of crap.
also, let me just say this. If you telling me that I'm gonna get mad before you say it doesn't excuse you saying it. That's not self-awareness. Does not absolve what you're doing.
What are you talking about?
Scientists have dropped the universe ether theory. Still, there has to be some explanation for these men disappearing. The theory that is often given today is that there is a balance in space and time that occasionally develops a rift or hole. The latest theory put forth to explain the disappearances and alien abduction. Perhaps these men were unhappy. What?
Go with them aliens again.
What else would you use to describe this? You ever seen those like the trope about like how cows get carried away by UFOs? What if Orion got carried away? He owned a cow farm. What if they thought he was a cow?
They're not too bright, are they? These aliens built this ship, travel light years all the way across the universe, and they get poor old Orion confused with a cow. Is that what you say?
And what if they're far away?
I bet he didn't taste good when they made a hamburger out of it.
You don't know. Perhaps these men were unhappy with their families and staged their disappearance. Or perhaps it was accidental, interdimensional travel.
You know, now you on to something. I have to agree with you. I think you're right.
You agree?
Yes, I agree.
Actually?
Yeah, they got tired of their old ladies nagging all the time and hit the road. I mean, I can hear his wife. Oh, Orion, the house ain't big enough. You need to sell all the cows. I'm tired of going to town in this 1820 model buggy when her neighbor, Miss Jones, drives an 1850 model, and her mules are much prettier than ours. If you'd work more instead of sit around on the shade of the porch, you'd be able to afford more. All my hoop skirts have wires missing out of them. If you'd put half as much energy into working as you do playing with sticks, it wouldn't be nothing to worry about. My daddy said you would never amount to nothing.
Hey.
I'm just saying.
What are you reading Einstein's book to me or something? What's the long story?
You said that your theory was that they had pretended to vanish so they could get away from their old ladies, and I said, now you're on to something.
If I don't get a score,
My first old lady, I'd have pretended if I thought of disappearing, I'd have done it.
I don't get a score higher than like 4, then this is a crime, and I'm
a crime.
This is a good one. This is a really good one.
So you believe this happened?
Yeah, he disappeared.
In thin air.
And the grass was gone.
And it happened in Tennessee and Virginia.
Alabama, too.
You know what? You would have got a 10 on this if you'd have just sold it a little more. All you had to do was say, before they disappeared, they said, hold my beer, watch this.
Dude. I never said they didn't. Can you give me a 10 now?
No, I'll give you a 5.
A 5?
I'm going to give you a 5 on this one because
I'm not getting up.
Evidently it was in newspapers, so it had to be true, right?
I've said that.
Huh?
I've said that. I've said that.
The only thing I don't know, I might ought to drop a point because Ambrose Bierce was a blame Yankee Civil War veteran.
Don't drop a point.
I'm going to leave it a 5 because I don't know what happened to this cat.
Don't call him a cat.
I realize
they thought he was a cow, not a cat. Do you believe it's aliens?
No.
Why? But think about it.
Huh?
But think about it. You ever heard that fire in the sky story? I told it on this. I think I told it on this.
Yeah.
Didn't I?
No, I don't think so.
But
I know about it. You're gonna cover it pretty soon.
Do you know? Do you know about? Do you like?
Yeah.
Do you like it? Do you like it?
The movie was pretty good.
Do you like the? Do you believe it?
I don't know. I don't know what happened out there. They passed lie detector tests. Did Orion pass any lie detector tests?
Orion's gone, dude.
No.
Orion is gone.
My question is this: if you can't see through to another dimension, how did his wife hear him through to another dimension?
Leftover.
Leftover what?
Like his voice stayed.
His voice stayed saying, "Help me, help me."
Yeah, but he didn't. Maybe that's what he said before he went, and it kind of kept his voice there. I should get a point higher for that because that makes it weirder.
No. I'm being nice giving you a 5 just because I don't know what it was. Plus, I was pretty rough on you this one.
What did half the stuff you say even matter?
What do you mean? Well, I just wondered if the stick disappeared. You didn't tell me.
I quite
You
literally
said you would tell me everything before the story's over, and I kept waiting and waiting, and you never said nothing about whether the stick disappeared, so I had to ask.
You managed to find the one question that I didn't have an answer for. Good job.
Well, yeah, that's one of them. You didn't answer another question I had. When was geologist invented?
Let me look that up. Let me look that up for you.
No, I don't even want to know now.
No, I'm looking it up now.
It's past.
I'm looking it up now.
Whatever.
When were geologists?
I wish you'd quit barking.
I'm sick, dude. I don't know what I got.
Well, if you'd leave them women alone, like I told you, you'd quit getting mono every year.
I'm gonna help it. 1785.
Oh, so no wonder they didn't know, because they hadn't even been around 100 years yet, so they didn't know, they didn't have a clue. They didn't know if we dig the grass up, it's going to die.
James Hutton is often viewed as the first modern geologist.
Was he in Alabama?
Let me look that up. Hang on. Was James Hutton in Alabama? It says, yes, there are multiple people with the name James Hutton in Alabama.
Well, that's good. I'm glad he's still around.
He died in 2023.
2023.
That's what it says.
Man, we almost got to meet him.
That's what it says right here.
Boy, he looked rough.
Favorite.
No wonder he died. Anyway, all right then, you got your score.
I got my score.
All right.
So, wait, 5, right?
I give you 5. I don't
If
know
you
what
take every score I've ever gotten,
I don't start that.
and
Hey,
you
TNT out.